Hey, it's Mike Waters with the Waters Wake Up Call. This morning for Throwback Thursday, I thought it'd be fun to talk about some of the adventures we had growing up in the Wild West of childhood, the 70s and the 80s.
Back in the days, you used to hang out down at the river. Well, it was spring and it was flooding.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was snagging.
Snagging?
Snagging for fish.
Oh,
you hit
okay,
the treble hook and you cast it out and you jerk it in. Well, I'm standing there talking to him and he jerks and he goes, "Oh my God, I got something big." And he's reeling it in and he's reeling it in. And then all of a sudden, his hand comes up out of the water, and I just took off running 3 blocks to Hank's bait shop, and I'm like, "Scott just caught a dead body," and they're like, "Settle down,
Wow.
what's going on?" He just caught a dead body, and I ran back down there, and they called the ambulance.
Are you the kids they wrote Stand By Me about? Was that it? Did Rob Reiner come to see you at some point?
He could have, and I would have gladly told him the story.
I would ride my big wheel down to the little creek running through town.
So what would you do when you got to the creek?
Catch crawdads and...
Yeah, would you cook them up and eat them?
No, I also walked across the dam.
Damn what? And watch your language.
The
This
dam.
is a family program.
The dam was so fun to walk across.
Was it? Why? What made it fun?
Because it was not supposed to be done.
So how old were you? You couldn't have been very old if you were on a big wheel.
6.
Isn't that crazy that our parents let us do that kind of thing?
Oh yeah, as I told you before, it's D-Man the Demon.
Demon with a big wheel.
I had a rep to protect.
You had the leather jacket and the boots, and there you were on your bike, Fonzie. No, not like that.
No, I wasn't that cool. I was more like your Potsy.
Potsy on a big wheel as opposed to Fonzie on a motorcycle.
That's right.
We had a huge pear tree in our neighborhood, and nobody would climb to the top to get the good pears, so they always sent me up.
And how old were you when you were climbing for pears?
Oh, probably 7.
Did you get in trouble for that?
No, we didn't, but they always had to go get my mom to talk me down out of the tree.
So you were like the cat. You'd get stuck in the tree. Well, I'm glad it was just your mom and nobody had to call the fire department.
Correct.
Although it would make a better story. Tell it again with the fire department.
So I'd get stuck in the tree, and they'd have to call the fire department to get me down.
Oh, no. And I'll bet they came with sirens blaring and your mom was screaming at you.
There was crying.
First there was. They had to get out the big hose to get you down. They sprayed you with all that water pressure to knock you out of the tree.
Right.
See, isn't that a better story?
That is a better story.
Good morning, Mr. Waters. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good there, Hawaiian. I'll bet. Now, as I hear you calling, I'll bet Hawaii was just terrorized when you were younger. Terrorized, I tell ya.
Kind of. The bus drivers hated us.
Yeah. What did you do to the bus drivers?
In the 80s, I was in high school, and we would take the city bus to school. And we used to do this thing called bus surfing.
Hold on. Bus surfing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what that is you put your, because you always carry your books with you in the backpack. So you would stand in the middle of the aisle, and while the bus driver was driving, you weren't holding on to anything, so you were just kind of keep your balance.
Right.
This particular bus driver did not like us.
I'll bet he didn't.
He really didn't like it, and he really didn't like it when we bus surfed. And so he used to slam on the brakes to watch us go falling forward.
Yeah.
So it became a task to try and stay upright when he tried to get us knocked over.
Well,
it was perfect.
Yeah, that's probably what you wanted, you know? You gotten perfect at the regular bus surfing, but then you leveled up and you dealt with the brakes of the bus. That's
So
great.
he slammed on the brake once, and I went rolling down the aisle of the bus and flipped over the rail by the chain thing.
Yeah.
And then he kicked us off the bus, so we were down in Waikiki. So we ended up being late for school, and they wanted to know why we were late. And so we used to put all these outrageous things, and they never did anything. So we put down the real reason. We got kicked off the bus. So over the loudspeaker, you hear the principal. We used to call her Dorothea Bader. She was a nun.
Yeah.
She breathed funny, you know?
Wow.
And he called us out and had us come down to the office. But it was worth it, man. It was so worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can do that as a kid, but don't do it as an adult or you go to prison.
True. Very true.
And I'm not going back to prison, Hawaii, when I'm telling you right now.
The Waters Wake Up Call.
Weekday mornings, 5:30 to 10.
105.7 KOKZ.